So welcome to the boat review. This time of Brinks Royale. I've hired number 1 in the class from Barnes Brinkcraft, Wroxham based boat yard. So I'm going to start as ever at the stern of the boat or the back and work my way to the bow or the forward part of the boat. And first of all, we'll start off in the combined cockpit, helm and living area for outside dining and socialising. So let's have a look around at what you get here first of all. Now, if you watched the captain's blog about Mystic Horizon that I hired through Richardson's Boating Holidays at Acle, this boat is very similar to that boat. It's 29 foot long, it's just about 11 foot wide, and it has an outside-inside steering position. Now, this differs to the Broom 29 sedan in as much as there is no doors to the rear area, and the rear area on this boat here is a lot larger and well appointed. So let's discuss what's going on here. First of all, you can see it's completely enclosed with this canopy arrangement. Now, some of the canopy undoes by these little fasteners, and some of the canopy unzips and is held in place with these straps here. On a really nice summer's day, to have these panels removed, these zipped up, it really is a very nice place to be. If you are feeling inclined, you could actually completely remove the entire canopy and undo this butterfly nut here, and this will telescope in, and you can remove this so that all of the blue disappears and you have a complete open area. However, there is a downside to this. On a day like today where it's blustery and perhaps raining, it does mean that getting in and out and on and off of the boat is made that much more tricky, because of course you have to unfasten some of this in order to exit the boat and undo it when you return. Now, this is not so much a problem perhaps if there's 2 of you or more. This boat sleeps 4, but on my own I did find it quite a hassle, and you may well find it a hassle if you are a couple, because once you've got to reach round and unfasten these points here, which are a little bit stiff sometimes, as you can see, they snap off. Then you can get out into the open. But then, of course, as you can see, on a blustery day like today, it blows back, and if it's raining you're going to get a lot of rain, and then you're going to come back on the boat whilst whoever's helming can then, you know, steer the boat, but then someone has to be here to then kind of reach round and up and fasten up the canopy, find the right hole up here, and it, you know, it just becomes a little bit of a pain compared to if it was just a pair of sliding doors. That is just the way it is. There's many canopied boats, so I'm not having a go at the boat for having a canopy. I'm just drawing your attention to the fact that if it's not a glorious summer's day, having any boat with this type of canopy isn't going to be the most trouble-free of operations when you're going to get off, when you're going to get back on, when you're casting off from a mooring, for example. Also, one has to bear in mind that in the winter these are very much not draft free, so this will be an area of the boat that may suffer slightly with being chilly, but it is heated, and I'll talk about that in a moment. The really excellent, great idea though is this great social space. Now, this boat sleeps 4, but you could easily get 6 people around this table. That's its maximum capacity, by the way, so if there was a party of 3 of you and you met up with 3 friends, that's fine, but if there was 8 of you, you'd be technically overloading the boat. This table, as you can see, is supported by a single leg that just slots into its hole there, and there's a corresponding one on the table. Now, because this table only has the one leg, it does mean it is a little wobbly. This, however, is the engine cover, and it's on hydraulic struts, so the whole seating area all lifts up to gain access to the engine, and so therefore I don't think that one could put a secondary table mount in without infringing somewhat on the top of the engine underneath. The seating though is amazing. It's almost like very, very soft squishy material here, but then this part of it is very tough foam, so it grants you an excellent supportive soft seat. This is also, I believe, water resistant. It wipes down excellently, so it's a very comfortable place, whether you're with friends, whether it's a summer's day and you want to eat outside, or whether you just want to eat outside anyway and have some of this open, you can. And it makes a great addition which other boats don't have. There's many boats that sedan style cruisers you can hire, but they don't have a table, they don't have such nice seating, or it isn't padded seating, it's just hard plastic. So you know, it's just the thought that this is, I would say, a great summer boat. It's great for socialising, it's great for alfresco dining. It also has a bathing platform, so getting on and off for stern moorings is really very easy. I'll take you outside later. It's got a nice step here and a step here to be able to get out. It's also got speakers that you can use the radio's balance control from left or right, oddly not the fader, rear and front. So if you're going to be listening to the music at night and you're moored along, do remember to switch over from outside the cockpit speakers so that, you know, you're not going to be blasting everybody out here with the music. It's also got lights, they're halogen, and you can see they're very bright, and at night they cast light all around this space, and it's really very lovely indeed. I said this area is heated, it is indeed, down here as you can see, but if you want more oomph into the cabin, that's not a problem, because you can just close that vent off like that and you're going to have all of the hot air going into the forward cabin. This is the only fridge, it's very compact. You can get 1-2 litre of, say, Coca-Cola standing in it, but other than that you're not going to fit a great deal in, so it's best to buy lots of little things, or maybe just find moorings where you're able to eat out for the evening. Moving forward here, as you can see, this is the steps that go down into the main cabin area, the main accommodation. It's got a very, very tinted polycarbonate plastic top which you can't see through. You can sort of see through it at night with the cabin lights on. You can see out of it from the other direction, and these are of course opaque, so there is good privacy even though there isn't actually a curtain there. Now we're at the helm, and as you can see there's a helm seat that's very comfortable. Again, it's with this great soft padding, very supportive. It's a shame that this is just the bare metal bar and not as padded, because it does mean that when I was on the Southern Broads for hours upon hours I got a pillow from downstairs to put up here. And let's have a look at the helm. So you join me here at the helm, and it's very comprehensive. We've got a water gauge which is very accurate, a fuel gauge, our 24 volt system for our volts, our domestic 12 volt system, water temperature for the engine, coolant level, and revs, and your usual warning lights. To start the engine you just turn the key, to stop it you just turn it off. It's just like a car. No, there isn't an oil PSI gauge. Underneath here you'll find a really convenient place to keep stuff like maps and so on. You'll find 2 padlocks which you use to lock up this when you leave the boat, just a shackle lock here. You've also got your main ancillary switches together with your 12 volt accessory lighter. Let me just talk you through some of this first of all. This is your wiper switch, and it's got an excellent windscreen wiper. As you can see, full screen coverage, which is excellent. Also what you've got down here is you've got your horn, the bilge pump. Now that is off, that's manual, and what you'd think is off is actually auto. So leave that one there. That's your domestic water, on or off. This says TV, but it's directly wired into the boat system, so whether that's off or on it makes no difference, but that is your radio switch, so if you turn that off it does turn the radio off. Coming down to here you've got an excellent steering wheel, just the same as on Omega, very smooth, nice feel to it. You've also got bow thrusters on this boat. They're not electric, they're hydraulic. Now this is good in some ways, they're a hell of a lot quieter. You can use them for longer without fear of burning out the electric motor. But when the boat is just in neutral, like now, there is very little power given to them, because some of the hydraulic fluid that turns the propeller, it's a hydraulically driven boat this, gets sent to the forward to turn the bow thrusters. So if you're going to be using the bow thrusters, bear that in mind, and to give it more oomph just use more revs and you'll get more fluid going down to there. If however you're in a tight confined area where you can't use more revs in gear, then simply pull the lever out of gear and give it some more revs. About 1500 should do it, and you'll get a lot more power going down to the bow to work your bow thrusters. But always remember to return that back to neutral, and don't overuse this. Sort of, you know, maximum sort of 20 seconds. So that is the helm. One thing I thought I'd draw the attention to, that where this has been cleaned, our speed and heights have been obliterated. However, I do know that this is 8'6", this boat, and I use GPS to maintain the speed limits. It's also a very high up boat, 8'6", as I said, and you've got a very commanding view, as you can see, all round. These are glass, that's polycarbonate, this is glass again. So it's a mixture of different materials they've used, because obviously to have a curved glass screen would have cost an absolute fortune. If you're tall, if you're more than sort of 5'10", what will probably happen when you're going along is you'll see something like this. And that's because the windscreen stops here and you have the beginnings of the top. So you might have to just bend down to scan along and see. However, you've also got these canvas sunroofs. Now, I found these to be quite annoying when it's raining very hard, because wherever this sort of canvas touches anything, say round here for example, it leaks. The water would just dribble through. Not a great deal, not like drip, 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 just drip, drip. So I'd have to have some kitchen towel up here just to keep things, you know, from getting too bad. Now, if we look outside here, you have got the ability to do this. Again, on a nice day, you could just have these completely off. They do completely remove. They slide out of their runners, and they're held in with bungee straps. Now, when these are closed on a rainy day, because it does mean that the boat becomes a lot more kind of darker inside, and I suppose it would have been nice if this was clear perspex panels that you could take out on a nice day and leave in on an inclement day. But it's what it is, and it wasn't too bad, but I thought I'd just draw your attention that, for example, if you're going along and it starts to rain and you've already got them, as I've got one open, it is a bit of a palaver to then have to put all the bungee straps all the way round instead of just being able to slide a sunroof back or clip in an insert. So that is the helm. As you can see, if you were having one person driving and a couple here perhaps enjoying a drink and a chat, everybody can interact. It's a very bright space. It's all original nice white gel coat everywhere, and it's what it is. It's a sporty boat. It's not the most practical of boats, but it doesn't pretend to be. So if you want something that's luxurious, that looks the part, that gives you great views when you're going along, and is ideal in the summer, Brinks Royale is certainly the choice for you. It's that one bit better than a Broom 29, or even I would say from say Brinks Omega, which is slightly more practical with the sliding doors. But this has got that certain je ne sais quoi that some of the other boats don't have. Certainly gets a lot of admiring looks on the river. So that's the helm. Let's head down into the main living accommodation. Okay, so let's go down now into the main living accommodation, and to do that you simply lift this up here, and then this whole thing slides back like so. Then these just open up. Now, do bear in mind this is a steep set of stairs down into the accommodation, so I tend to use my hand here just to steady myself and then take it nice and easy as we go down. And once down here, as you can see, it's really lovely wood, very warm feeling. Very luxurious feeling. This is one of Barnes Brinkcraft 5-star elite boats, so everything is luxurious, well appointed, and that's reflected in some of the stuff that you get. So let's start here with the galley and rather ingenious storage solutions. Here you see these brilliant little handles that they're not there, and then you press them and you can open it. So you've got all of your cutlery and utilities. Well, not utilities, the utensils, and they're not even there either. But basically you can see you can put things away there. But I want to talk about the cooker as well, and the oven. It's got this beautiful mirror sheen. Now you find this on a lot of boats. A lot of private boats have these units on. They are compact, so although they're a 4-ring hob, everything about them is trying to basically be a hob and an oven and a grill in one very compact unit. So it won't be quite as good as your sort of domestic size cooker or an oven at home. You're not going to be able to fit as much in there, but nonetheless it's nice to have, and it's in very good condition. You get a large proper sized kettle, which I'll just move out of the way for a moment just to show you why. Again, we've got this nice opening things, and then look at that, we've got cafetiere, which is nice to have. You don't always get that on hire boats. Nice sized teapot, tray, milk pot, you name it, everything there for doing your coffees if you're going to bring freshly ground with you. These units here are the same, except you just clip down that and then this opens out, and this again, you've got your glassware in. Very nice to have the stemmed wine glasses. It does make a difference. Quite a few boats for hire you'll just have these, and to have wine in something like this, it's doable, but it's not the same, is it? But very nice glasses, nice branded mugs, and a lot of them, as you can see. And then finally in this unit here, you've got your Pyrex measuring jug, dishes, jug to put orange juice, milk in, egg cups, and salt and pepper pots. So as you can see, it really works well when it's all open, yet when you come to close it away, it very neatly does so. And of course, it won't accidentally come open when you're sort of on a choppy button broad or something like this. Now, over here you'll notice there isn't a draining board, there isn't a proper sink. It's all in this very nice solid resin that's on a lot of Barnes Brink craft boats now in their sort of trademark blue. But be aware, because there isn't a drainer, that when it comes to washing up, there is undoubtedly going to be some spillage of water, and it all will go off down in this direction and pool here, as I found out. So don't put anything valuable over here, it will just get wet. Nice glass bowl to put some fruit in or something. Very nice mix it up, as you can see here. This here is just a tray, but it hides the washing up bowl and of course the sink. So it's a kind of a sporty boat, so everything about it is just going to be that little bit smaller, less practical maybe because of that. You're trying to give everything in one, so it doesn't always go. So just bear that in mind, you know, if you're going to book this type of boat, the further forward you go, the less headroom you get, for example. So there are these things just to consider, and I want to just point those out to you. But while we're in the galley, we'll carry on with looking at storage space, and then we'll look at our switch gear as well here. So as you can see down here, there's a very nice kind of larder cupboard, I'd say this is. They've just put the dustpan bucket and stuff, but you can put a lot of stuff in there, you know, a lot of groceries and stuff like that doesn't need to be refrigerated but needs somewhere to go. And again, as you can see, it's got this nice latching system. Under here you're going to find your utensils, pots, pans, saucepans, you name it. So that is the galley basically. Over here, as I said, you've got your switch for your fridge, very nice chrome, your cabin lighting, and your thermostatically controlled warm air heating system, which is this time made by Webestro. Coming round here, however, into the main accommodation, you can see here you've got this very nice large seating area. Again, you've got the holly and teak flooring throughout, and you've got the other speakers, and it's really nice on this boat to have more than just 2 speakers. Now I know the other speakers are outside. There's so many boats, brand new constructed boats for hire, that have luxuries like you never dreamed of in the past, like, you know, electric flushing toilets and full-size showers and all this kind of stuff, and then they're let down by the fact that they have the same old 2 speakers bung next to each other, which offer no real stereo separation. And it's just a shame that there's a lot of people that like listening to music, not necessarily loud, but like music. And so to have a boat with 4 speakers in the saloon area, it's always nice. Now I know these speakers are 2 down here and the other 2 upstairs, but when you're going along, or you're moored up, and you can have the speakers on here, or you can adjust the balance so they're up only upstairs or down here or both, it's nice to have that sense of surround, that music that's all around the boat. Let me show you the table and the seating down here. So as you can see, it is a very large table. The reason why there's these cutouts is because underneath the table you'll see you can, you can raise or lower the height of it, but that comes completely out, and then these areas here open out, and this would make another very large double bed. Now, because it's only me on the boat, I haven't got the inserts that are provided to be able to show you how that goes together, but I'm sure you can figure that one out on your own, that would go down. Further foam inserts go in, and then you have a large double berth. There's further storage over here, which is in the same vein as over here, but I won't clamber over there and show you that. Everything's like lightly lit with these very powerful halogen lights. Personally, however, they draw almost 9 amps when all of them are on, just in this living area. So it might be an idea to swap these out for LED equivalents to give off as much light but save a hell of a lot drain on the battery. So you join me here seated in the saloon, and I'm going to show you just how comfortable this is, and the TV and some added storage space over on the far side. So as you can see, it's really nice TV. It's larger than some you find on hire boats. The picture quality is excellent, as you can see. The aerial that's on offer outside is fixed, but you can obviously, alter thy direction. But to be honest with you, I've not found any need to worry about the aerial. It's picked up all of the Freeview channels without any artifacts on the screen. It's brilliant. Now here you'll see there is a funny bit to this seat here. What's that all about? Well, that's a bit of storage. Now on this boat I've put the extra bedding inside there, but it does mean that there is space, as you can see, to put stuff, your luggage. If you ask the boatyard, look, we don't need all of this other bedding, so can you take that back? Thank you very much. And then that's a space to put those kind of stuffs. There are other storage spaces. The drawers, there are only 2 of them on the boat. They're very shallow, so you have to bear in mind, again, not the most practical if you bring a lot of stuff. There are places you can put stuff around here, but overall this isn't a boat, for example, like a forward steer boat where you've got masses of sort of sideboard space and cabins with shelving and drawers and wardrobe and so on and so forth. It's a 29-foot boat. It's very different because, as you remember, if you go back to the Brinks Jazz review, that was the same size boat, but it just shows you, with a different design, with a pointed bow and a sports styling, how that same overall length doesn't always equal the same space inside. So very different beasts, these boats. Let's have a look at the heads, or the bathroom, next, and see how well they've done in there. So the shower cubicle, the toilet and the wash basin are all in this area here, which is very nice. It's rounded, it's out of the way, it doesn't get into the way of the boat really at all, and that would have certainly been a difficult, costly exercise to bend the wood for the door. But it's got a very nice chrome handle, and as we open it up, look how bright this is. You get 2 very bright halogen spotlights in there. Again, you've got this very nice blue resin, the same mixer tap as we saw in the galley. Unfortunately, there is a problem. This sink has no plug hole. Now, although this spins, I thought, well, maybe that's how but no, it just carries on going through. It's very deep as well. So for people that might wet shave, and I'm one of them, the way of doing this and washing in the basin in the morning gets a little bit, well, I'll show you. So you join me here back in the galley, and what it entails is, if you're going to have to wash your face or shave in front of the mirror, and that's the only mirror that you get on this boat in the bathroom, is fill the washing up bowl with hot water over here. And it has to be done here because you can't fit this under the tap in the bathroom. So then you take this, which is then, imagine if that's full of water, you take that over here and into here. Now I'll just show you that if you try to put it in, it won't fit with the tap. So basically this moves out of the way, and then that fits in there almost as if it was meant. And then you can use the mirror, you can shave, you know, wash your face and so on and so forth, and then obviously afterwards you can tip that away in there. But that's the only problem really on this boat, is it's a luxury boat without a plug hole for the sink. So that was just a thing. If you don't wet shave, there isn't a 240 volt electric razor socket in here, so you better bring one that's you know, rechargeable and mains powered. Other than that slight issue in here, otherwise it's very good. You've got these places here that you can put things to keep them dry. You can put your flannel over here, your towel, whatever. It's all this lovely gel coat. This is the tallest part of the boat, so you've got a good 6 foot of headroom in here. You've got a very nice shower, as you can see, which is controlled down here. That's your on and off, and that's your temperature dial down there. There's another place to put stuff here. The shower tray area is compact, but not as bad as some I've seen. And the real pièce de résistance in here is the electrically operated toilet, which is done by just simply pressing this button here, and it will flush, suck, macerate, refill, and ready for use again afterwards. So as you know, spaces go, heads, bathrooms, call them what you will on boats. This is very nice. They are provided with some soap and some shower gel, just like you find in a hotel in here. So that's very nice. As you can see, very light and airy, very well lit. You do have to use the shower curtain. You can't just shut the door, because otherwise if you just shut the door and didn't use the curtain, it would leak out. So next up, let's look at the main sleeping accommodation, which is hidden behind that curtain that you've noticed during the rest of the tour so far. Let's have a look at the bed. So the main sleeping accommodation is separated from the rest of the cabin with this very large curtain, as you can see here. And it very smoothly on these runners just glides back, lovely. And first of all, I'll show you over here our main sort of control panel. So here you've got your stereo radio CD player. When I was talking earlier about the zoning of audio, if we just turn this on just to show you what I mean, basically you press the select button and you go to bass, treble, fade, and you want balance. If we do the down to the L, that puts it outside. If we do it to the R, that brings all of the audio that's now just coming into those speakers over there. So I would always at night bring it over to that position, all the way R6, so that when I was listening to the radio it wouldn't bother anyone that might be moored when the speakers were outside. You've also got some really nice battery monitoring systems over here. This is your 12 volt side. This is going to be your interior lights, your water pump, stuff like that. This is your 24 volt side, which is going to do your fridge, the inverter for your sockets, things like the heater as well also comes off of this side of things. So at the moment we've got our readout of voltages. Now during my trip, one of or two of the batteries that make up the 24 bank side developed a fault. One of the cells had gone and it was drawing down the others, so this went down to below 21 volts. Well, it was about 21.5 actually. But it enables you to look at and see what's going on. Also you can figure out what your amp draw is by pressing down here. So as you can see, with these halogen lights on, we're drawing 10.1 amps. So that's why they are really a large draw. So that's 10.1 there. I'm just going to turn a couple off just to show you. So we turn the lights off now. There's still a couple on, and we're now down to 2.64 amps. So it is advisable to be sparing with these lights. Don't leave them on. They are very bright, but there's a reason they're halogen and they eat up power. This is just your main board here, the battery charger, ring main. You can turn them on and off as so required when you're on shore power. It says immersion heater. I'm not sure if it has one. When I was on shore hookup, I turned that on. I didn't see any difference in amps over here, and I didn't find in the morning the water was any hotter. So it might have it and it's not connected because people were using it when they weren't on shore hookup. I'm not really sure, but anyway, this is the main sleeping accommodation. As you can see, it is a very large bed. I just want to talk about storage. This is your only wardrobe on the boat. It is full height, and for 2 people you'll be able to fit all your clothes in there just perfectly. You've got another little box down there that opens. It's not a drawer to just put a few bits and pieces in. The bed, as you'll see, is very low. It's almost on the floor. Underneath the bed there is a hole that you can put stuff. So there's a board under there, and then in that you could put, I don't know, you know, a bag of stuff or whatever you need to out of the way under there. Now I'm not sure, but this does seem to have better quality or design, a different design of linen than other boats I've hired from Barnes Brinkcraft. This very nice blue, it's very soft, it's very nice weighted duvet here. It's a nice width double bed, as you can see, and again they provide you with plenty of pillows, and they're really nice and soft, supportive pillows. As I've said before, this does remind me of the sort of quality you get in hotels rather than the sort of quality you usually find on boats. Over here you've got another socket. I told you there was 3, it's just a single one, which is great at night because you can just bung in your phone charger and charge your phone up, rest it up here on the step, and in the morning it's fully charged. Also around here is some handy storage space. I've just put a book there. They do provide you with a hairdryer. It is 1400 watts. I haven't had a need for it. If you're a lady and you do, or a man that does, I would say for 1400 watts run the engine at about 1500 rpm when you're using it, or be on shore power, just to stop the batteries being depleted too rapidly, because when batteries on hire boats get discharged over and over and over, way down and then brought back up and way down, it just means that they wear out. It's a physics process of how batteries work. Every time they get charged and every time they get discharged, some of the actual lead cells inside them, the plates that make up it, and the sulfuric acid, it reacts and it eats away. So the more that happens, the deeper discharge, the less cycles of charge and discharge there are to go, and there's only a finite amount. And what happens is that some people, they might just hire the boat and go, oh, that didn't work. Like with me, the fridge worked, and then I moored up and I went into Beccles and I came back and the inverter was beeping and my fridge wasn't able to work, and I'd used virtually no power at all, you know, of the inverter, the 240 volt side of things, and I wasn't able to plug in and I wasn't able to run my engine. It was about 10 o'clock at night. So that's what can happen, you see. And then because you phone the boatyard, more than helpful, they sent an engineer, he sorted out that. There was a problem with the shower pump as well that was blocked. So there's been a couple of problems, but as I said in the main blog that accompanies this review, it's how the boatyard deals with things. There was no quibbling, they came out, they fixed the problems. In fact, the guy Ben, I think I called his name Dan, but Ben the engineer was a really knowledgeable, hard-working young man, and I gave him a bit of change to get himself a pint because he really deserved it. The amount of work he put in and the hours and the diligence with multimeters and putting loads on batteries and replacing things, you know, it was absolutely first-class service. So if Barnes Brinkcraft, you got anything that goes wrong, I'm sure that, you know, their engineering staff would be right on top of it and sort you out, and that's what is important. You know, things do wear out, things can go wrong, but it's how you handle it and how you put it right when they do. So I rather like this as a place to sleep because it's under the back of the boat and it's really cozy. When you close the curtain back like that, you know, at first I thought, oh, I'm not sure about having the curtain business instead of an actual cabin door, but some people might find this a bit claustrophobic and think, oh well, it's not the same as a proper cabin. But personally speaking, I found it really lovely, comfortable bed, lovely linen, and a pleasant place to spend the evening. So I'm going to take you outside the boat now, but I warn you in advance that you may not be able to hear me very well. It is a very blustery day here today, and so I apologise in advance if that's going to be the case, but I just wanted to show you how this boat looks from the outside. So I'll stay behind the camera and I hope you can hear me over the wind noise on the microphones. I'll try and keep this as quick as possible because I know how annoying it is. So this is how it looks. It's a very sexy, sleek, sporty kind of a boat. There goes some little ducklings. It's a planing hull. I won't go into too much details, but for suffice it to say, if you're having the wave that's coming along, those chimes, they get trapped, it's noisy, it can be. Also, it wanders in high winds because there's not as much underwater. So we're quickly moving on here. It's a sea-going boat, so the freeboard's high, but you do get these nice wide side decks. There's the hatch, it automatically stays open. These are the grab rails, it's safe, it's good. Right, moving over here. There's the canopy I was talking about outside. There's the swim platform. There's the 240-volt hook-up lead, the mop, the boat hook. If you're more stern on, there is no fendering at the back of the boat. This will make a lot of noise and groaning and banging into the key heading. Do what I did, take off a fender here, tie it to that there. It will stop it. You have a nice night's sleep. There's the door that opens out and locks. So if you've got little people on board or a doggy, it can't just escape. They've put a door on there now. It didn't used to have that when it was first built. There's the water, there's the diesel fill-up point. Let's get back inside. So we end where we started, in the rear cockpit of this boat. I hired Brinks Royale 1, I believe there's 4 in the class. It is an elite 5-star cruiser, and although there are areas where it could just do with maybe a new bit of canopy over the helm position, overall I would say it really is a quality, luxurious boat. It'll be ideal for a couple. If there's 4 of you, bear in mind that you have to make up that table each night into the bed. There's only the curtain that separates that sleeping accommodation to the main fixed berth. It's easy to handle with the bow thrusters as long as it's not too windy. It can be a bit faffing about to get off if these sides are up at the time, but if they're not, it's a breeze. It has got a high freeboard, so if you're mooring against a low key, bear in mind it might be easier to step off at the back swim platform and over onto the bank, or just try and find moorings that are stern on, because then it really is super easy. So I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I hope that I've covered all aspects of it. So if you're in the market for a sporty, sleek boat that's got a great alfresco area for socialising and outside eating, that's got a high, good quality helm, comfortable seating, nice, cosy little berth at the back, this is the boat for you. So see what deals can be had. Sometimes Barnes Brink Craft at this time, they had 20% off because of the World Cup. You never know. Give them a call and have a great holiday. Thanks for watching this review as part of this Captain's blog.